but I'll never stay there. Understanding my life, why I am, may take some time. 'Cause every step that I take, I wipe my footprints away. I made my choice, and I paved my way, and it makes me who I am. After all they say, my reflection still remains. You made your choice, you played your game. Now you're on your own again. After all you say, my reflection still remains. They let you in from your disguise. Once you're in, you never give in until you see the light drawn from their I made my choice, and I paved my way, and it makes me who I am. After all they say, my reflection still remains. You made your choice, you played your game. Now you're on your own again. After all you say, my reflection still remains. Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another live stream Saturday, and things are certainly heating up here in the UK again, which is a bit annoying, but it's just over 20 degrees, maybe a little bit more than that, so I have got the fan going in the background. Hopefully it's not too loud and you can hear me and everything's working. I think I have set up everything. This is always the case with the live streams. We only find out later on in the live stream if I've actually set up everything as I should have, but fingers crossed it will be fine. And yes, oh, David is just replying to something that I said in the live chat room a second ago, and I think somebody was asking about heights or something. Whether they're asking me, I don't know, but I said I'm about 180 centimeters, or I think it's 5'11". We always talk about feet and inches in this country, whereas I know everyone else says centimeters, so I think it's 180. And I think did David just going through saying 188? That isn't, I mean, that 188, that would be like 6 foot, I don't know what, 6'3", 6'4", something like that. So no, I'm not that tall. I'm, yes, just under 6 foot. If I go on, you know, or if I wear some cowboy boots, then I'll probably be fine. Then I'll make it, but that means I'd have to wear cowboy boots all the time. So yeah, just under, unfortunately. But I don't know, maybe 180 is fine in other people's countries. I don't know, I feel like in the UK everyone is just seemingly a bit taller, because when you ask about people's heights and then you see people and they say, oh, you know, this is actually something that just reminded me of The Warning, who are a band who have been on the channel and they're doing really well at the moment. And in their pictures when they're on stage, I saw somebody comment saying, oh, it's rare to have, you know, Mexican women who are so tall. And then they responded saying something like, we're 5'1" or something. So it just goes to show how judging people's heights is so difficult. Because, yeah, certainly when they're on stage with the guitars, then, you know, they look a lot taller than they are, because I guess you don't have that comparison. And maybe they might be with other people who are, you know, comparatively, you know, either seen as short or tall, but certainly, yeah, being just kind of 5'1", 5'2", 5'3", I would say that is very short, especially here in the UK. For some reason, I think people are just taller in the UK. So I would consider myself as being, and I know it's not, but I would consider myself being quite short for a guy at kind of, you know, 5'11", 180 centimeters. Because, you know, other guys are taller. Obviously, there are other guys that are shorter. But yeah, for some reason, I think when I visit another country, then I might feel like, oh, and this is something that I've heard about either China or Japan, that people are shorter there. I don't know whether that's true or not, but I've never been to see whether I then seem really tall. So it's all about your, you know, population as to how tall or short you are. But yeah, it's, I mean, height really for me isn't a big issue at all. And, you know, you get so, I mean, how tall was Prince, for example? You know, I think a lot of people would like to have his talent, and certainly would have liked to have had his bank balance. So that's another thing. But yeah, I don't know why height, especially in, you know, the modern day, is so important, or seen as so important. I don't know why. But anyway, yeah. So anyway, let's move away from that. But as I was saying, hopefully I've set up everything correctly, and let me get you guys up on screen, just talking about you guys in the live chat room and not actually seeing who's in there. We have Sam and Bob and Robert and Mark, DCMC, Sue, Carl, Charlie, Tom, Sam again, Corey, Neil moderating in there, Tammy, Suzanne, Jennifer, Billy as well, Susan and Dennis moderating as well. Big shout out to the moderators, and Carla, who's back in the house tonight and moderating. So a big hello to Carla. And we don't have a pick roulette tonight, so it means we've got a little bit of extra time that we can maybe have either a cartoon or a fill tune at the end of the live stream, maybe a riff of the week as well. So yeah, we've got a little bit of leeway. Right, let me get the names of my patrons up on screen as well, because they make this possible in the first place. As you guys know, they are the foundation of everything that I do. So a massive shout out to these people. You know who you are. They also pop up during the live streams in that PayPal window and the super chat donation window. So thank you guys for all of your support. As I always say, you don't have to donate, just watching is fine by me, and maybe hitting that thumbs up, because we are going to be aiming for the biggest likes total that we've ever attempted. And we tried this last week and we didn't quite make it. We were really close, but we didn't quite make it. I think we were maybe within 20 or something like that by the time that the clock hit the end of the live stream. So let me get that up on screen. 410 likes is what we're aiming for. So let me ask all of you who are currently in the live chat room to hit that thumbs up. If you could do, it would be much appreciated. And let's get the likeometer up on screen. We are at 181 likes so far, which is a great start. It means that we've, you know, got up to almost just under halfway. I'm not going to be able to work out exactly how many more likes we need, but we've just started the live stream 12 minutes past midnight here in the UK. So we still have plenty of time to go, but it's not really plenty of time considering the amount of likes that we are actually aiming for. 410, as I said, highest ever, and fingers crossed we can make it. We're gonna see, and every single like is gonna count, so we'll keep an eye on that likeometer, about to maybe hit 200, and there it goes, 201. So thank you guys for spiking the likes so early on in the live stream. Right, let me just get the donations tab thing up on screen, just in case you can't resist donating, even though you don't have to. Certainly it's not a requirement of anything that I do here on the channel, but just in case you do donate, I think it's really important for you to know the percentage splits, where the money goes. Between 35 and 45% goes to YouTube through the super chat window, and if you donate through PayPal, between 3 and 5% goes to PayPal, and you can find a link for that in the description below. But yeah, just so you guys know, moving into the donations, because we had some that came through before we went live, and I mean, as always, these disappear, which are, you know, not, well, it's just not welcome from me. I was going to say, yeah, it's not something that I appreciate from YouTube, getting rid of the donations as soon as you go live, but I have been able to grab them, and here they are. The first one came in from Paul, so thank you for that, Paul. It was a $5 donation, and the message was, please, Spike. It's very early for my brain to start moving letters around, but please spike the likes, all y'all, and yinks. I don't even know what that means. Orlando's backup guy might be on the catch-up crew, or ketchup crew. Everyone have fun tonight. So thank you for that, Paul. And yes, Orlando, true to form, has donated straight after that with a $2 donation. Thank you for that. The message is, as Paul Mack stated, spike the likes with lots of thumbs up. So thank you for that, Paul and Orlando. Whenever we have a donation from either of those usual suspects, we always have a plug of the mug. And let me reach over in order to grab it. And here it is. If you want to get your hands on, not this exact mug because I'm holding it, but the same mug over on the spring.com store, then there's a tray underneath this video. If you're, I don't know, watching on a laptop or a PC or something, I'm not sure where the tray shows up on, you know, whatever you're using, but if it doesn't show up, never fear, because there's a link in the description below as well, so you can click on that and that'll take you through to where the mugs are, the hats, the t-shirts, the hoodies, all of the cool stuff. Head over to wingsofpegasus.com as well for the merch over there, which you'll be able to get Wings of Pegasus picks for your guitar. There's pick necklaces, all that kind of stuff that Carla sorts out over there. So anyway, that is the merchandise. Get your hands on that. Oh, merchandise update, by the way. With my tumbler, which I use all the time, and I mentioned about how I use it all the time, especially now because it's really hot, or it has been hot recently, so I've been putting lots of ice in there and it keeps your drink cold for a very long time. I put it in the dishwasher, which I do all the time, so it's had a fair few washes, and I've lost a little bit of the wing of the Wings of Pegasus logo, which is a shame, but I only noticed it yesterday and I have no idea how long it's been missing for, because it doesn't really stand out at all, fortunately. But just so you know, I can now definitely say that if you're putting it in a dishwasher, then a bit of the logo might fall off, so you might not want to do that. I find that when I put it in the dishwasher, it gives it a really good clean, but I think the problem that I have with my arm, any kind of, you know, getting inside the tumbler and trying to clean it with a scouring pad or something and apply pressure, I couldn't do that. So that's why I started putting it in the dishwasher. But if you haven't got arm problems, then I'd suggest the best way to clean it is probably going to be in the sink, yeah, with a scouring pad or something like that, if you want to preserve the logo on the front. Anyway, just a bit of an update about something merch related. Right, Jennifer donated $7 as well. Thank you for that, Jennifer. And the message was, Phil, what was the hardest song for you to learn on guitar and on drums? Stay cool. So thank you for that, Jennifer. I'm doing my best. The fan is working at the moment. Everything's just at a nice temperature currently. Right, so hardest song to learn on the guitar. I think I've been asked this before, and it's just, I mean, pretty much just all of the covers that I've done, and, you know, teaching guitar. It's just sitting down and practicing it. That's all it is. It's not the case that, oh, there's something that you can't play. And I think a lot of the guitarists, the more you kind of advance, you then get to appreciate the learning process and what you need to do in order to play a particular way or have a particular, you know, technique down. And it's just something that you have to work on. And when I say that, it will be a case of maybe if it's something that's very technical, maybe 3 or 4 hours a day, you'll just start practicing that particular technique in order to get it down, to then be able to either teach that technique or be able to play what you're listening to. So yeah, and this all falls under the heading of subconscious muscle memory. So when people see somebody playing something very technical, that is achieved by sitting down in a room for multiple hours every day and just doing the same thing over and over and over and over, and just teaching your muscle memory to do it slowly and then gradually speeding it up. And that is it. So it's just having the amount of time to dedicate to that. And I think the most important thing, and I get asked about this all the time, the most important thing is your own artistic direction. That's really important, because I think people tend to, especially people that don't play guitar and they're not musicians, they might see somebody doing something really technical. And I've had videos in the past where I've done analysis videos, and people that don't watch the channel for a long time and don't know about my music and kind of the style that I play in and the fact that I sing as well, they don't really understand when they comment and say, oh, you're jealous because you can't do what they're doing. And I say, first of all, music's not a competition. There's no jealousy from one musician to another. If there is, you're approaching music in totally the wrong way, because you should just be trying to enjoy what you're doing. And if somebody else does something different to you, they're enjoying doing what they do, so that's absolutely fine. So it's always the case that musicians, artists, all of us are on our own journey. So there will be things that a particular guitarist can do that I can't do, and there'll be things that I can do that they can't do. And I have referenced in the past that some guitarists don't even sing, they just play guitar. So then you can't start saying, oh yeah, obviously I'm not going to get dragged into arguments, because it's not worth my time, but also the people that make those comments don't really understand the lay of the land, how music is an art form, and you just decide on your own journey. And if I wanted to be a super technical guitarist, then I wouldn't have learned to sing. I just would have focused on all of the practice I would have needed to do. Instead of the 3 or 4 hours singing practice a day, I would have stuck at guitar. But for me, I wanted to be able to sing. I wanted to be able to play full songs. I wanted to be able to do a full album, to write it, produce it, play the instruments. I wanted to be able to do that. So that takes a lot of time in order to dedicate to my own journey, because that's what fulfilled me as a musician. And if I was sitting down practicing for 4 or 5 days to play a very technical guitar piece, I would get frustrated that I'm not being able to sing, because that's something that I wanted to be able to do. So anyway, yeah, just to throw that out there. But anyway, getting back to the question, and quickly, I know that I'm going to get sidetracked again, but I had a comment from somebody yesterday, and this was to do with the lead guitar video that I made about just approaching playing in your own way and just teaching yourself, or attempting to, teach yourself to play the guitar without any reference points, and just use the voice that you've got in your head. Any kind of extemporization that you can sing, that you can think of, you should eventually be able to do that through your guitar. And it's really liberating to not to have to rely on theory. And somebody commented yesterday saying, and this is a kind of comment and something that really annoys me a bit, people saying that, this person said, guys, Phil is trying to dumb you down. Everybody needs to learn theory first, and then you start to, become freer after that. But, theory, you won't be able to play properly until you learn it. So, I mean, first of all, with the experience of over, 15 years of teaching, I would say that the overemphasis on theory is the number one reason by far, by miles, that people either don't start playing an instrument or give up playing an instrument because they don't understand the theory, they just don't get it, and they've given up with music. And that is the main reason. And I would say that it's pretty much 99.9% of the time that people come to me and they said, oh, I had lessons as a kid at school or privately, or they went to somebody and the first lesson was on theory. They didn't understand it, they didn't enjoy it, they gave up. So the first thing that I do when a student comes in is I say to them, what music do you like? And we get into the music they like, and I say, which guitarist would you like to sound like? What kind of guitar players do you like? And, they'll suggest a particular guitarist. So the first lesson is, let me take you through, first of all, the chords. And obviously I give them a sheet with the chord names on it, but I show them the shapes and we go through the chords and we just go through at whatever rate they want to learn theory at. We can do it. But if they literally want to say, I don't want to learn any theory, I just want to play like this guitarist, then I will teach them everything that they need in order to do that. And I think as a teacher, you should be able to feed somebody's artistic desires and their own artistic journey that they want to go on. They might have no desire to learn theory. They just might really want to get into music and writing music and just coming up with their own songs creatively, not learning things that other people have done first and then be just totally penned in and pigeonholed by a particular style or genre that sits with a particular chord progression, for example. So yeah, and the other thing is this whole dumbing down of musicians, and as if it's a competition, and that the more you know, the better you are at music. I did say to him in the comment, it's ridiculous to even say that you need to learn theory first, because it's like saying to a baby, right, before you say your first word, you have to read it first, and then you're allowed to talk. It just doesn't make sense. Music is a language, so you speak it. A lot of people speak it and they don't even realize they have the ability to because of theory. So this is why I really try and push people away from it to begin with, to just find their own voice, because then they'll have totally, a totally free expression, and that's what music's all about. That's what art is all about: expression, freedom to express yourself. So yeah, I did say it's ridiculous. It's like teaching a baby to talk before you allow to read before you allow them to talk. And sometimes they might try and talk, so you'd have to cover their mouth. So no, you have to know how to spell this word before you say it. So anyway, yeah, music is a language. So just something I wanted to address, that people that see it as dumbing down, obviously they rely on theory so much they can't see it any other way. And that's, I think, a shame. And I think that once you learn to play or even sing with freedom of expression, I mean, some of the great jazz bands back in the day, they had a great singer at the front of the stage, and that singer wasn't, you'll never see a singer at the front of a jazz band reading her notes. She is just speaking the language of music more often than not. I say she because I'm thinking about Aretha Franklin and these singers that had such great, and they obviously crossed into different genres because of their vocal ability. But when I'm talking about jazz, the singer at the front of the stage, and obviously there's loads of great singers, and we've looked at male and female singers who have just fronted jazz bands, but there's always a voice at the front of the stage and they're not reading their notes. More often than not, they are extemporizing and changing the notes from one performance to the next. And how can they do this without seeing the notes on the paper? Because they're speaking the language of music. So that's the prime example of it. And if that wasn't the focal point, then you wouldn't need the singer. But the singer is the person who makes the emotional connection with the audience because they're speaking the language of music and not having to read it. So that is really the proof in the pudding, that you don't need to learn any theory in order to communicate in this language. And I would argue to communicate most effectively, you want to kind of break away from it. You don't always have to. Having the knowledge is great. I've obviously got, I've been teaching for over 15 years. I've got knowledge of theory, but I've got to that point from not having it, and then therefore I know the value of not having it and the freedom of expression. And yeah, Anyway, let's move away from that because it's something that I could talk about all day. It just annoys me when people see music as a competition and see other genres as, not being as good because they don't know theory. If it were a case of the more theory you know, the better you are, it means that everybody who's at number one in the charts, the biggest selling artists of all time, would know the most. And we all know that isn't true. The most popular artists of all time are the ones who could speak the language most effectively, irrespective of theoretical knowledge. That's where the real art is. So, I mean, if it was all about theory, then everybody would be, a millionaire, because everything that they made would sell, would connect to millions and millions of people across the globe all the time. And I mean, there have been great songwriters who have had that theoretical knowledge, but you've had just as many great songwriters who haven't had anywhere near the same, depth of knowledge, but they're still communicating to an audience en masse. And yet, sometimes you'll find someone who doesn't have any theoretical knowledge, but they can just speak the language. And Glenn Campbell's a name that always comes up. Even being part of the Wrecking Crew, session musicians, where you would normally say that it's imperative to have a solid understanding of theory if you're going to be a session musician. But again, Glenn Campbell, if you are good enough at talking the language, you can listen to what somebody does and copy it. You don't have to read it. You can just, have that and copy and play it, and you can play whole songs, for 5, 6, 7 minutes. You can have a gig that lasts 2 hours with 30 or 40 songs in the set list, and you haven't had to read a single note. It's all in your mind, because you're just speaking. It's like me on these live streams. I was just about to say, love it or hate it, I can talk for an hour and 10 minutes. I'm sure that I could talk for 2 or 3 hours without stopping, because I'm speaking the language. I'm not having to read what I'm saying, because it's a natural process. And that's exactly what happens with great musicians, that they can do this for 2, 3, 4 hours, but they're playing an instrument and singing. They're not needing to read any notes. But anyway, let's move on. You can tell that it's something that I think, with my background of teaching and having had so many students that I've taught that have given up so young in their journey because of that thing of them just having to go through this theory that they didn't even want to learn. And more often than not, you find that the people that didn't want to learn it get more interested in it when you start telling them about the major scale, the do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. And they don't realize how simple it is that when you sing through the major scale, count out the notes. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. And when you go do, re, mi, what's that? Do, re, mi, mi, mi. That's a third. It's a major third. So, it's the third note. And, people that would argue, well, where's the major seventh? Guess where it is. Just sing through that scale. It's the 7th note of your major scale. And when I said actually recently about the sus2, that second note in the scale, when you count through do, re, re, the second note, that's the sus2. Anyway, it's really simple. I think it's how it's explained. A lot of people and a lot of teachers actually just overcomplicate things, and I pretty much get up to the point of teaching the circle of fifths. I think that's a really good tool to use, but once you've got that as a basis, then a lot of other things fall into place. But I think it's more the way it's taught rather than people not just thinking that theory is really boring. As I said, people that aren't bothered about it, but then all you do is show them the scale that you might be learning, and then they understand it and think, oh, is that all it is? So yeah, just count it out as you play through. And if you use the same shape with your hand, you'll always know where the major 7th is and where the dominant 7th is. You just take it down to semito, and counting through the notes, it means that you'll know exactly which finger plays which note, and you'll be able to pick out these notes from not only from your chords, but you'll be able to pick them out through your scales as well. So anyway, moving on. This is... Oh, I didn't even answer the question from Jennifer. Hardest song... like I said, it's just a case of practicing it. To get the phrasing down on Eruption was really difficult because of Eddie Van Halen's just style of play, the way he was so expressive and just threw things together. And on the drums, pretty much everything, because I'm not really a drummer. I do try my best, but Lay It on the Line, from memory, that was one that was a pain in the behind, to get that down, because it's quite an involved song vocally as well, but just instrumentally across the board. With drums, guitar, lead guitar, harmony, vocals. So yeah, that's one that I pick out just off the top of my head. But thank you for that, Jennifer. And quickly moving on, I know that there have been a lot of donations, so thank you guys for these. And let me just scroll up. It's 33 minutes past midnight. So time is moving along. Oh, guys, if you can hit that thumbs up, it would be massively appreciated, because we're aiming for our biggest ever likes goal tonight. 410 is what we are aiming for. And we don't have a pick roulette tonight, so we've got a little bit of extra time, which I think we're going to need with all of these donations. But thank you guys for these. Just quickly jumping into the super chat window. After we went live, Orlando donated $5. Thank you for that. Orlando, the message was... I was watching your analysis of Luther Vandross and wondered, what software do you use for these vocal analysis videos? So thank you for that, Orlando. So the analysis videos have, as you will know, but in case you haven't seen them, the vocal ones, but I tend to do it actually more often than not now. We have the vocal pitch monitor up on screen, and that's an app called Vocal Pitch Monitor. It's an Android app, and it's free. And this is the other thing that some people say, I can't believe that you're using a free app to do a vocal analysis. Why don't you use something that's a bit more in depth? First of all, they haven't independently tested the accuracy of the app that I'm using, because it is really accurate, because I have tested it multiple times with the same vocal and have overlapped the vocal lines that it produces, and its accuracy is, like I said, amazing for a free app. The other reason that I use a free app is because I want, like with the guitar videos, and occasionally I show chords and do mention about the notes that are being used, so that people can do it at home. If they want to play along, they'll be able to pick up their guitar and play along, and put the capo on the right fret, all that kind of stuff. In exactly the same way that when I'm doing a vocal analysis, I want people to be able to do, or attempt to do, what I'm analysing on the screen, but themselves. So if I say, for example, right, listen to this male vocalist, he's hitting a G4 at the at the top end of the male tenor range. Somebody can download the app, they can sing a note, or they can just make a noise, and they'll be able to see which note they are hitting and try and go up to where a G4 is to see where it sits in their range. So it means that it's accessible to everybody. The analysis videos are effectively interactive. If you want to download the app, it's free, and you can just have a go with it singing if you want to. So even if you can't sing the note, you can play the note on your guitar, look at the app, and it will show you where it is. So that's why I use Vocal Pitch Monitor. It's really accurate, but it's free. And I don't agree with people doing videos saying, and if you want to do what I'm doing, then pay me X amount of money in order to get this app that's hidden behind a paywall, because that's how I'm going to make more money from you watching my videos. That's not how I do things. So that is free. The other software I use, what I'm using now is Mimo Live, and that's that's a subscription thing that I use for my, obviously, live streams, but the analysis videos, and it always cuts. Again, it's the same bit of software that I've used for years, because I know how to use it, I'm comfortable with it, and it always splits the screen in half. So this is when I do videos. This is why it's always halfway, unless I have time to spend a lot more time on the editing, where I've done in interview videos before, where I can then import it into Final Cut Pro 10 and literally take the side of the screen and then put a background behind it, and it takes a lot longer to do, a lot longer than an analysis video. As you guys will know, it takes me a few days to edit the interview videos together, but yeah, with the Mimo Live software for the analysis videos, it just cuts it in half. I don't really get a choice on that. So some people say, oh, why don't you just show the performance either full screen or in you know, as big a screen as you can get? It's just I've moved it along as much as I can to get me as small as possible on the screen, but this is Mimo Live is what it's called. And yeah, you can set up live streams and all those kinds of things. And again, I would rather pay a monthly subscription to do things like this on the live streams than use, I know that there is free software out there, but it requires that they have access to your YouTube channel, and you know, you just have to allow that at the beginning before you use the software. And that's something that as soon as I downloaded it, I thought, no, I'm not going to risk it, because if anything happened to the channel and it got hacked, it could be from that website having access to it, even though they, you know, it wouldn't be their fault. They'd just say, oh, we've had a data breach and somebody's got your login information. I would rather just have everything in-house so that I'm in control of it. If I have to pay for it monthly, that's just something that I'm, you know, willing to do, and I can do because of your support. So this is another thing, that all of your support, your donations, means that I get to keep control of everything that I do. So I will be able to live stream every Tuesday night and Saturday night, 12 midnight, and that's British summertime now. Summertime. But yeah, it means that it's all under control because of your support. So these are the kinds of things that you might not realize it helps with, but it really does help me to keep everything literally independent. Not only my music, but everything that you do for me on the channel is just amazing, and it's massively appreciated. So let's just get into so it's a vocal pitch monitor. And I mean, I do use a splitter.ai, which is a isolating software like Moises, which I've also used in the past. And what I do for the analysis videos is, I mean, it takes me probably a couple of hours, a few hours to then combine the isolated vocal. I then run that through my reference speakers, and through the reference speakers I then have it going through the pitch monitor app. I then screen capture the pitch monitor app on my phone because it's an Android app, which means I then have to export the video to Dropbox, which I then download onto my Mac. Once I've got it on my Mac, I then import it into Final Cut Pro 10. Once it's imported there, I then synchronize the video footage from my Android app, my phone, with the isolated vocal and the backing, which I also import from splitter.ai. Once I've got that, I then import the video section and synchronize the video with the splitter.ai vocal and instrumental. And once that's all done, then I do a screen capture in Mimo Live in order to record the analysis video so that I can do it in real time. And once that's all done, I think that's then the setup that I have for my analysis videos. So I know that a lot of people ask me, oh, how do I do what you're doing on the screen? You know, having an isolated vocal going through the vocal pitch monitor from a performance, but it probably takes between, I don't know, maybe 2 hours and 3 hours for me just prepping the video before I've even started doing anything. So, but I would rather do that so you guys can see it all on the screen, and you know, I think it gives the videos something extra to just be able to equate on screen, see something that explains what somebody's doing with their voices. So yeah, I mean, it's a lot of work behind the scenes, but yeah, I do that for every video as well, so that's just an extra little process that I've added on. So yeah, it's something that it's a lot more work, but it's something that I would rather do for my videos because I believe that it increases the quality of them, the quality of the end product effectively. But anyway, thank you for that, Orlando Stardust Unicorn donated $5 as well. Thank you for that straight up donation, and support band to Wings of Pegasus, thank you for that. And CDS has donated $19.99. Thank you for that. And it's a lemon doing something. I'm not sure kind of what the expression is, but it looks like there's either roses or something coming out, maybe hearts. But thank you for that. Orlando's donated $5 again. So thank you for that, Orlando. The message is may Tony Down from Leave It to Beaver, rest in peace, with a heart. So thank you for that, Orlando. And Karen has donated $5 as well. And the message is, thank you for that. The message is, hi Phil, 5'11" isn't short. Stand next to the 7-foot tall Big Show, which all 5'4" of me did, and we'll talk about being short. Laugh out loud. Cheers, Karen. So thank you for that, Karen. And Pam has donated $9.99. Thank you for that, Pam. The message is, my college musician friends absolutely hated theory classes. Glad to hear those classes aren't necessary to playing music. Love the live stream. So thank you for that, Pam. Jennifer donated again. $7. Thank you for that, Jennifer. The message is, sang a lot till I got asthma, but wish I could play drums like you. Sadly, after lessons, I was not coordinated enough. So thank you for that. And I mean, when playing drums, I mean, this is the other thing that I think certainly getting back to playing keys, playing drums is something that is going to take me quite a while with my arm, because yeah, I know that kind of the impact of drums, but just that repetition is not going to be good for my arm and its rehabilitation. And yeah, just stretching my hand out as well playing keys is still I can tell that it's kind of tweaking it and it doesn't want to do it. So fortunately, guitar is okay. So that is fine. Yeah, I'm willing to just wait with the other instruments. As long as I can play guitar, that suits me fine. And of course, the vocal cords are still okay. But thank you for that, Jennifer. And what I found when I was learning to play drums, and what I still find when, before I had to stop playing drums, that literally slowing something down, like if you're not coordinated enough or you don't think you're coordinated enough, it means that you're playing it too quickly. And it's the same thing with guitar. Just slow it down to as slow as you need to do it in order to do it correctly. And when I say slow down, I mean ridiculously slow. So if you're just hitting the hi-hat and just doing 4 beats of your bar, just match your foot pedal. For example, when you're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, if you can do that, then you're halfway there, because then all you have to do is match up, for example, to begin with, your foot pedal with 1 of your hi-hats. So when you hit the 1, do your foot at the same time. You can even do this if you're sitting down watching this live stream. Pretend to hit something evenly. You want to be like the second hand of a clock. Imagine watching that, because some people that don't have a natural rhythm, they don't know how to do it. But just imagine the clock going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and imagine how even that is. A clock never goes 1, well, unless it's broken, goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It doesn't do that. It's always just even, that second hand. And that's what you want to do with your hand. You want to match the second hand of a clock. So when you're doing that, try and move and count 4 times. Go 1, 2, 3, 4. Now try and match your hand with your right foot. Your right hand with your right foot. So go on 1 and try and move your foot at the same time. So you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. And if you're moving your foot at the same time as counting 1, you're pretty much drumming. All you need to do is get your left hand. And now what we want to do is match on 2 and 4. So you go 1, 2, just move your left hand. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And just build it up like that. It doesn't matter how slowly you need to do those things. And eventually you'll have your foot going on 1. You'll have your right hand just counting out the 4s. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you'll have the left hand hitting the 2 and the 4. And you're doing a basic drum beat, but you're now synchronizing everything that you need to in order to now drum, but do everything together. And it's just a case of experimenting with now putting in maybe another foot pedal, and maybe match it with a different number and just experiment with it. But it's all about just having, the patience and knowing to slow things down, because everybody thinks, if they start playing, oh, I can't do it, I'm not coordinated enough. don't start that fast. You have to build up the muscle memory, and your brain has got to understand all of the kind of brain muscle memory connections it needs to make. It can't do those quickly. It needs to do them slowly. So yeah, just have a go at what I just said, and you are drumming. That is, I say that's how everyone starts, but it's not how everyone starts, unfortunately, because they give up because they think it's too difficult. But it's really straightforward, and then it's just spending as many hours or however long you want to practice as to how good you want to get, and gradually speed up what you're doing. Just keep it simple. But anyway, thank you for that, Jennifer, and hopefully you had a go at what I was just explaining, because it's just about just doing it slowly and not getting too disheartened. Just do it really slowly. If you're doing it slowly, your brain will be able to speed it up. And this is the same for playing guitar. Playing really fast, I know, because I've sped up a lot of runs that I can play, but I know how slowly I had to play those before I started to speed them up. And it's always slow it down as much as you need to do it correctly. And as long as you do that, that is positive muscle memory. You're going to be remembering the right things all the time. But thank you, Jennifer. Right, Patrick has donated $20. I'm just going to quickly get through the. I know that there have been PayPal donations, so thank you guys for those, but I'm just quickly going to get through these donations in the super chat window. Patrick has donated $20, so thank you for that. And the message is, Hola Phil, stay cool. Can you speak a bit about the guitar prowess of those artists who choose to play acoustic guitar? And whenever I see Jim Croce's name, Jim Croce, I always think of all of these different pronunciations that I've been given in the comments section. But anyway, yes, so Jim Croce on the 6 string, John Denver on the 12 string, Flat and Scruggs on the banjo, etc. Thanks. So thank you for that, Patrick. And I mean, players, like Jim and John, it's a totally different approach. Yeah, obviously playing acoustic guitar, it means that you're always going to be super, well, I say you're always going to be super clean. The guitar is never going to have distortion on it. You're going to have nowhere to hide. So your technique has got to be A1. Even, if we're talking about playing chords, any kind of lead lines, and these are the kind of things that great acoustic players and singer-songwriters can just throw in a little lead line now and again, and the technique's going to be spot on. And yeah, certainly with those kind of players, with 12-string John Denver, again, there's going to be 2 strings next to each other, so you have to make sure you're fretting even more. But yeah, you've got nowhere to hide, so it is certainly a great way of learning to play guitar on acoustic guitar, because you can't really hide in effects that you might get with electric guitar and then an amp and turn on the distortion, and then you might not really be aware of the technique that might be lacking because you can't hear it, whereas you can always hear buzzing on an acoustic guitar. You've got nowhere to hide. So yes, certainly the artists that can play acoustic guitar at the top level, their technique is spot on, and you get a lot of country players as well, and that's where it overlaps with banjo. You have this top technical ability for playing the banjo, which then a lot of banjo players then move over into acoustic guitar. So they generally don't make that jump straight into electric guitar. It'll be into acoustic guitar and then playing electric guitar on a very clean tone. It's always super clean, probably some reverb on there, just a hint of it. But this is the thing that, acoustic guitar technique, when then playing electric guitar, you can tell an acoustic guitarist playing electric guitar, First of all, because the tone will be clean, but their technique will be really clean as well. So the acoustic players, they have to have top level technique. And this is why we've already mentioned about Glenn Campbell on this live stream, but when you're talking about guys like Roy Clark as well, playing an acoustic guitar, when they then played an electric guitar, you could hear just the quality of technique that they had and their ability to just throw together these alternate picked runs, economy picked runs, even hammer-ons and pull-offs, getting that really smooth legato sound. But more often than not, they picked a hell of a lot more than I would say electric guitarists would, because they had the ability to from playing acoustic guitar. That is something that you need to be able to do on an acoustic guitar. To play lead on that instrument, you need to be able to alternate pick and pick the strings. Flat pick, you know, all the time pretty much. If you're playing with a pick on acoustic guitar, you're going to need to have great flat picking ability. If you're just using the pick, with alternate picking, economy picking, just have top level technique. But anyway, thank you for that, Patrick. I know these questions and maybe going on a little bit longer for me to answer them, but thank you for these questions. They are interesting questions, I believe, so hopefully people are getting something out of the answers. So anyway, oh, by the way, if you can hit that thumbs up, that would be much appreciated. We are aiming for 410 likes tonight, biggest total ever, and we're at 353 so far, so we are on the way. We're looking into that live chat room. Anybody that hasn't hit the thumbs up, it would be great if you could do that, and it'd be much appreciated. It really helps this live stream to get out there and for the channel to grow as a whole. Big shout out, by the way, to the Wings of Pegasus supporters group over on Facebook. If you are a Facebook user, head over there, join in, roll up, as they say, and yeah, you'll be allowed into that group. That's where a lot of the live chat room people, members, population hang out between live streams, and that's where Vince hosts the after party. So check out all of these lovely people in the live chat room who hang out over on Facebook. And yeah, just a huge thank you for joining me on tonight's live stream and the live streams in general. We also live stream on a Tuesday night, again 12 midnight British summertime, though I keep on having to interrupt myself. I'm so close to saying Greenwich Mean Time all the time, but it is British summer time. So just type that into Google and you'll be able to get the time zone. So and it's going to be London, England. Just type that in, you'll be able to get the time. So thank you CDS as well, or CDs, who has donated $19.99 again, saying enjoy your live stream and videos. So thank you for that. By the way, there's a vote going on at the moment for the cover video for tonight, and it's between A Design for Life and I Don't Want to Miss a Thing. So vote for that. At the moment, we'll be getting into that very soon. Evan has donated $20 as well, and the message has been removed by Carla, but thank you, Evan, for that donation. And yeah, we'll kind of make sure that we get to the bottom of that. Generally, with the I'm trying to think, the guidelines are over at wingsofpegasus.com, so you'll be able to check out the guidelines over there for the live streams, because we try and just keep everything about music. We don't really get political or other things that we don't really get into, because it then can affect the live chat room. And yeah, we try and keep everything community based, but you'll be able to find those guidelines over on Wings of Pegasus, but I'm sure it's all fine. But thank you, Evan, for that donation. And I know that there have been donations over on PayPal as well, and I will get through those, so thank you guys for these donations. I do like to address all of the donations that come in, regardless of when they happen, between the live streams. Michael donated £5. Thank you for that, Michael, and that was on Wednesday morning. So thank you for that, and that would have been after the last live stream. Nicole has donated £24.09. Thank you for that, and the message was, in London, there is Phil, this musician that many of us love, run after times, but in music with Phil. Kiss from France. So thank you for that, Nicole. And just going to scroll up. That might be relating to the That's Metal video. I'm not sure about running about in London. And Tammy has donated £10 as well. Thank you for that, Tammy. The message is, hi Phil, what is the most challenging project you've completed up to date? Rock, with a smiley face and rock horns. Thank you for that, Tammy. And I don't know, I think I'm always going to say what I'm doing now is the most challenging project, because keeping up with, oh, by the way, I've totally forgotten about this, but we have recently just past 267,000 subscribers. So a massive thank you to you guys for watching the channel, subscribing, all of that cool stuff, and hitting the notification bell, hitting the thumbs up. So yeah, crazy number, 267,000, but we'll keep on pushing forward and see where we end up. So yes, I would say that, I think I just made everybody quiet, and now I've just made everybody cheer again, and then we make everybody quiet again. So yeah, I would say that the most challenging project is what I do on a day-to-day basis, just keeping up with 267,000 subscribers and keeping the videos going, answering the emails, I would say the projects that do come in, the emails that I receive about, doing sponsored videos, all that kind of stuff, which I don't normally do. So I've had, one of those recently. I think it was X5 or something, who do the wireless microphones. Well, it's not wireless microphones. They do the wireless units that you can attach to a microphone, to guitars, and in-ear monitoring systems as well. And they got in touch. So yeah, I'm currently kind of going through that. But as you guys know, I will always try something, and if I think it's really good, then I'll let you guys know. Like the Moises app, I thought it could be a game changer for so many musicians. So yeah, I'll always kind of try something out. I don't do like the mobile games and all that kind of stuff that's totally unrelated to music, but as a musician myself, if I find something that I think will help other musicians, then of course I'll bring it to your attention. But yeah, anyway, so yeah, I've had an email like that, but I do get quite regular emails. And yeah, other things that I would say, there are other things going on in the background at the moment that have only happened very recently, and I mean kind of yesterday, but I'm not allowed to talk about it. And it's something, again, it might be something that happens in the future, it might not be, but it's potentially something that's going to be really cool for the future, but it's going to be for the future a long time into the future. So yeah, that's why I can't really talk about it at the moment. But these kinds of projects that are always kind of popping up, that just interesting things for the future, is keeping up with everything. That is my most challenging project. So anyway, thank you for that, Tammy. And I am just going to scroll up because Maria has donated £1.57. So thank you for that, Maria. And this was earlier this evening. So thank you for this. And the message is, hi Phil and everyone, how do you feel about the price of concert tickets going up so high these days? Don't forget to spike the likes, everyone. Yeah, I'm not a fan of having ticket prices so high. And this kind of shows how the music industry has changed, because with one of my Phil tunes for, I think it was Guffest, where the guy who was behind the bar was saying about the ticket price being £6 or maybe £8, which is about $12. And then I say, how can you justify that price? Because to me, I thought that was expensive. For somebody coming to watch my band, I thought, oh, well, that's quite expensive, £6 or £8. But anyway, so it gives you an idea of how the industry has changed, and the difference between independent artists and major labels, how they're going to make you pay like about £100 for a ticket. I think it's crazy. Obviously, it's all about greed, because the musicians aren't getting that money. That's the point. That if it was for the musicians, I think more people would probably be more likely to pay that amount of money, because they know it's going to the band, who can buy the equipment they need. I think the difference with me is I do everything. So I'm not signed to a major label. I don't have a marketing team. I don't have people that book gigs and set ticket prices and all those kinds of things. When you are independent, you literally do everything yourself. So it means that you can say what the ticket price is, and generally I would set the ticket price as, first of all, you're breaking even, but then if I wanted to put on another gig, you then need to make that amount of money in profit to then put on another gig. So it's obviously got to be sustainable, because there's no point in losing money and then that's the end of your music career. It's got to be financially viable, but still, yeah, ticket prices nowadays are ridiculous. So that's my view of it. I don't agree with it, but I know that it's just the music industry, and that's why I stay outside the music industry. I have no interest in getting involved with it because of that kind of thing. It's, record labels are just in their nature greedy because they're an industry. They are there to make as much money as possible, as much profit as possible, so that they can give themselves as much of a bonus as possible, and whatever they can get away with, they will get away with. Because that is the thing, the music industry isn't really like any other industry. You have ridiculous contracts going on. So yeah, I'm quite happy out of it. Thank you very much. So anyway, thank you for that, Maria. We are going to be jumping. Wow, it's 2 minutes past 1 already, and we're looking for 15 more likes in that. I'm just looking at, at the moment, this YouTube thing that pops up saying now's a great time to start putting an advert in your video. I don't know why it pops up. It's annoying because it takes my attention, because I think the fact that it pops up made the actual stream slow down. So that's not ideal. But anyway, I've just cancelled that. So hopefully things will go a little bit more smoothly, and hopefully we'll recover from that. But yes, we will be jumping into the cover video for tonight, because 3 minutes past 1, and I will get back into the PayPal donations after this. But let's have a little look at what got the vote, and let me just go to the live chat room, end the poll, see what it was. And it was I Don't Want to Miss a Thing that got 55% of the vote. And yeah, A Design for Life has been an option for quite a while, maybe a few live streams in a row, but again, it's not destined to be the cover video for tonight. So I hope you guys enjoyed this one. It's my version of I Don't Want to Miss a Thing, of course, and I'll see you guys after. Rock!
Stay awake just to hear you breathing, watch you smile while you are sleeping, while you're far away dreaming. I could spend my life in this sweet surrender. I could stay lost in this moment forever. 'Cause every moment spent with you is a moment I treasure. I don't wanna close my eyes, I don't wanna fall asleep, 'cause I miss you, babe, and I don't wanna miss a thing. 'Cause even when I dream of you, the sweetest dream will never do. I still miss you, babe, and I don't wanna miss a thing. Lying close to you, feeling your heart beating, and I wonder what you're dreaming. I wonder if it's me you're seeing, and I kiss your eyes. Thank God we're together. I just want to stay with you in this moment forever, forever and ever. I don't want to close my eyes, I don't want to fall asleep, 'cause I miss you, babe, and I don't want to miss a thing. 'Cause even when I dream of you, the sweetest dream will never do. I still miss you, babe, and I don't want to miss a thing. I don't want to miss one smile, I don't want to miss one kiss. I just want to be with you, right here with you, just like this. I just want to hold you close, feel your body close to mine, and we'll stay in this moment for all the rest of time. Yeah, yeah. Don't want to close my eyes, I don't want to fall asleep, 'cause I miss you, babe, and I don't want
And there we have it. Thank you for voting for that one tonight, and you guys over on Patreon for requesting it in the first place. Let me just give a quick shout out to the patreon.com/Wings of Pegasus page of site, because that is the foundation of everything that I do. And thank you guys for giving me the songs to choose between for the requests in the live streams, and yeah, just for all of your support. And if you guys want to head over there yourselves and get involved on a deeper level, that's where I am all the time, and you can send me direct messages there, all that kind of stuff. But thank you guys. We are now 8 minutes past 1, and we have hit the target for tonight, the likes goal. Biggest ever likes goal that we've gone for, and we have done it, so thank you guys for that. Right, the first thing to mention, now that we've hit the goal, we're not having a pick roulette tonight, so I'm going to open the entries for next week's pick roulette. And if you want to have your name on the Moises wheel, the Moises app, which is, isolating software, and you can get a premium membership for that for a year. If you want to be on that wheel, then just type app in capital letters, APP, with the normal entry for the pick roulette wheel. So just add that to your entry, and let me just type in the chat room at Carla Murray. So this is how you get your name. Let me just make sure that I type that correctly. This is how you get your name on next week's pick roulette wheel. Type I agree, like that, exclamation mark, which is optional. And I'm going to type as well app afterwards, just to pretend that I am entering in for the app, because we'll be doing that on a roulette wheel as well soon. So we've already done a couple of those, but just to make sure that everybody who's on the wheel can get on the wheel, you now have to put app. So do that. And if this is your first live stream, hello, thank you for joining me. Introduce yourself into the live chat room, but just copy what everyone else is doing, and you'll get your name on next week's pick roulette wheel, where you can win a signed Wings of Pegasus pick. You might even win a t-shirt, and you might win a year's subscription to the Moises app if you put app after your I agree. But just follow what everyone's doing in here, and then you will be absolutely fine. So quickly popping over to that PayPal window, because we had another donation that came in from Steve. I'm just going to scroll down. Thank you for that, Steve. It was a £5 donation. The message is, did video really kill the radio star? Has looks, posing and talking while jumping around become more important than being able to play instruments and sing without massive studio manipulation? So thank you for that, Steve. Well, this is a debate that could go on for years, but I would say that certainly the thing that video allowed, in the 80s, video, it was huge. It was the natural development for music, with music videos. And then the thing about how far music videos have developed is that I'm constantly asked and emailed about checking out, YouTubers and a new artist, or, somebody who's got a video on YouTube or Instagram, and I check it out. And because I've got a very keen eye and a keen ear for things, I've seen recently on YouTube a video of somebody who's like this. They are set up as if they're playing live. And this is the thing that video has changed. That there are a lot of musicians who are pretending to be live when they're not, and they make it look live. And this is the thing that I don't agree with. If they're shooting like a music video, then that's absolutely fine, because you don't expect it to be live. If there's lots of different cuts from different angles, you don't expect that to be live. But people that set up a microphone and have the XLR lead going into it, they'll have their guitar, which is plugged in as well, and they'll kind of pretend to do an intro, and their guitar, they might, this is the thing, I have got a keen eye, they'll play the wrong chord, or they'll play something, or they might not vibrato on a particular note when they did vibrato. And you can tell as well when the words don't quite match up with what they're singing. Anyway, more often than not, that is happening. So what happens is they record the vocal, like you would do in a studio. They record the guitar like you would do in a studio. So you've got all of your tracks. They then put it all together, mix it, and then they film the video of them pretending to do it live. So that is something that has really, I think, blurred the line between what is real anymore, especially on YouTube and Instagram, to the point where I know, because I see these videos all the time on Instagram, there's a particular guy who plays lead guitar solos and he's not actually playing them, but people think he's playing them, and he doesn't say that he's not playing them. He's pretending that he actually plays them, and he's got thousands. I don't know what the channel is, and even if I did know, I wouldn't expose it. But he's pretending to play the lead guitar parts, and everyone of course is saying, oh wow, that was amazing, that's the best cover I've ever seen, because he's filming it looking like he's doing it live. But then it's so obvious when he does a slide on his guitar, but you can hear it's a bend, and you can hear when he vibratos and he plays it straight. All these things don't match up, and people that have been playing for a while and probably teaching for a while can spot these things. So that's something that video has, I think, really allowed to happen, is that you don't really... I know what's live and what's not live, but the general public don't know what's live anymore, and they think a lot of people are doing these things live, but they're not. It is a recorded track where they've done multiple takes and taken the best take. More often than not, a comp take, so it means you take the best parts of 4 or 5 takes, maybe even more than that, and then you put it all together and then pretend to do it. So yeah, that's one thing that I think video certainly has made. You don't have to be as talented. I mean, there's no doubt that back in the 60s, the 70s, you had to be more talented, because all you could do was be heard. Nobody got to saw you. More often than not, and the only option was being heard on the radio. So however good the people are on the radio that you hear, you have to sound better than that. You don't have to look better than that. You have to sound better. And that is always going to be the most difficult thing, is just producing the best sound, because that needs talent. It needs ability. And yeah, back in the day, you couldn't do multiple takes. So yeah, that's something that has definitely changed. Anyway, thank you for that, Steve. It is something that we could talk about for a very long time, but the live stream is really moving on. Thank you, Karen, as well, who has donated £3.92. And the message is, hi, Phil. Just for fun, from the book of questions, what would constitute a perfect evening for you? I think it's safe to say that the Wingers would constitute tonight as an example. Thanks for bringing positive vibes as well as positive unpredictability. Cheers, Karen. So thank you for that, Karen. Perfect night. I don't know. I haven't even spent time thinking. I mean, every single night is pretty much the same, and when I do have an admin day, I'm just doing emails. If it's a video day, I'm always pretty much doing the same kind of stuff. So a perfect evening, I don't know. It would probably, if I could, like, maybe probably do nothing. I'm trying to think of the quote. Time, this might have been John Lennon, or maybe I'm making this up, but time you enjoy wasting is not wasted time. So that's what I would do. I'd probably just waste time, just not doing any emails, not doing, not doing a video, probably not even practicing playing guitar or anything like that. I would have something that would just be a standalone evening, and just do nothing. Maybe watch a movie, play some games, or if I could turn the evening into like an afternoon, maybe forget that I'm injured and play golf. That'd be quite good to do. So yeah, I'd probably just try and totally detach myself for a day or an evening. That would be good. And when I say totally detach myself, I mean like from all the comments and all the emails, because I mean that's something that I'm never, I think, ever going to be able to remove myself from, because I like to answer all the messages, because it's something that I like interacting with you guys on these live streams, but through the comment section and through the emails as well. So that is something that I don't do it because I'm I'm forcing myself to do it and I really want to not do it. I do it because I enjoy interacting with all of the comments and all of you guys. So yeah, but I suppose it would be interesting just to totally do something waste as much time as possible on a particular day and evening. But anyway, thank you for that, Karen. And I mean, the reason that I say that is because a lot of the things that I do that I enjoy, for example, going to the Royal Albert Hall and getting invited to go down there, those are things that if I just was doing nothing, I would love to be able to do that. So I think a lot of the things that I do, like speaking with Steve Stevens as well, that would have been something that I would have loved to have done. But because I'm doing it anyway, it's something that I can't say that I'd love to, speak to, Steve Stevens for an evening. I think that'd be really cool. All those kinds of things, I'm taking those out of the equation because they naturally happen. So that's what I mean when I say that I would be doing these kinds of things anyway, if I did have the opportunity to do them. So it's great that they do pop up. So that's why I've gone the exact opposite and just said, look, let me just do nothing and see what happens and just unplug. But thank you for that, Karen. Sue has donated £20 as well. Thank you for that, Sue. That is a straight up donation. Scrolling up, Diana has donated £7.30. Thank you for that, Diana. And the message is, how do you feel? Highs to all y'all wingers. Always love the hashtag hair talk, hashtag health talk, hashtag food talk, hashtag music, hashtag riff, hashtag fill tune. All the topics rock. So thank you for that, Diana. That's the most amount of hashtags I've ever said on a live stream, but probably ever. Thank you, Kim, as well, who has donated £20. And the message is, hey Phil, can you tell us please about the necklaces and rings we see you wearing in your music videos? You seem bare tonight without them. Ha, spike the likes, folks. Love to all, Kim. So thank you for that, Kim. And I mean, very much when I do these videos, because I'm just at home and I'm in a room, I don't get merched up for these videos because I'm just at home. Whereas if I go out, like when I went to the Royal Albert Hall, I tend to wear my kind of more rock and roll stuff. I get merched up. If that's the right, probably accessorized is the better way of saying it. But yeah, I kind of have some I can't remember if I wore this or not, but I have a Fender pick that's on like a silver chain, even though the silver chain is a little bit worn. But yeah, I have kind of accessories that Carla sent me, because Carla does the accessories through wingsofpegasus.com as well. So yeah, you can head over there and look at all of those. But yeah, I didn't wear any rings because I couldn't find them, but now I have found them. I do tend to wear a couple of rings on my right hand. It's just the fingers that they fit on. And I don't generally wear rings when I'm playing guitar because they get in the way and they clink when I'm playing on the right hand. And I don't wear accessories as well when I'm playing guitar because they get in the way of the bridge of the guitar if you want to do palm muting. So that's another thing, that when I'm demonstrating, doing analysis videos, then I don't want accessories because it's going to interrupt and interfere with the sound of what I'm playing. So that's another reason for it. But yeah, if I go out anywhere, I will pretty much get accessorized. But I don't tend to wear too much, just a little bit. But thank you for that, Kim. And Marge has donated £2.35. Thank you for that, Marge. The message is, a little bit of theory answered a lot of my questions about music so that I could learn more on my own. Thanks, Phil. Smiley face. So thank you for that, Marge. And Rick has donated £10.19. Thank you for that, Rick. The message is, of the following men's singers, who do you think has / had the most versatility and best timbre or timbre, tone, vocal range, expression, and ability to apply their singing to different genres if they wanted? Okay, Luke Graham, Steve Perry, Rick Emmett, Brad Delp, Dan Fogelberg, thanks for all your analysis. I mean, that is one hell of a list of singers. I'd say Rick Emmett, range, of course, but pretty much all of these guys: Steve Perry, range; Luke Graham, range; Brad Delp, range; Dan Fogelberg, range. I mean, all of those guys would take you over an octave within a song, so and have more to spare. So range wise, really difficult to say. I would say that they all have a similar approach in terms of having that access to a chest voice, going into mixed voice, going into head voice, and not really going into falsetto. So this is the thing that I'd say that all of these guys have in common. And when I say that, Brad Delp, a lot of people say, oh, well, yeah, he went into falsetto, but Brad's high notes were like a head voice, because he's getting up there. And if anything, if you are saying it's a falsetto, you've got to be able to blend your chest register with your mixed voice, with your head voice, in order to go up high with a continued note. And that is something that Brad did a lot. In that chest voice, he'd take it up into head voice and into this, really clean connection. And I know that there'd be a lot of reverb on the sound, of course, and that was all part of it, but he was continuing the voice up rather than breaking off and going into falsetto or a reinforced falsetto. So yes, Rick again didn't get into falsetto. I mean, all of these guys have that ability. So I'd say, what was the question? I'd say in terms of versatility, I mean, and singing different genres, all of these guys are just great vocalists. I would say that probably I would go for Lou Gramm. Obviously, people can debate this with the list of singers that we're talking about here, but Lou Gramm, as having that total control, singing different genres if he wanted to. I would say that in general, when we're talking about different genres, you can talk about rock, classic rock, and obviously pop, but a lot of people are going to put that in with kind of blues, but pop, putting it in with like pop rock and the lighter sounds. But folk, all of these singers have the ability to change their vocal to however they would want to sound in all of these different genres. They're just great singers. I would say that when you're talking about classical singing, for example, that would take a different approach to their chest voice, which isn't something that I've heard a lot from any of these singers, but I'm sure that they could start applying that body into their sound in their chest voice if they wanted to. And certainly when you're talking about guys like this who can hit notes in the male tenor range, then it's just about bringing that slightly thicker sound up into that male tenor range. But yeah, really difficult to choose between these guys because they're all great just in their own way, but also with similar ranges and control of their vocal cords. But anyway, thank you for that donation, Rick. I'm just going to scroll up because there has been another one from Rebecca. Thank you for this, Rebecca. The message is, and it is for £6.50. Thank you for that. The message is 6.5 months since my severe arm injury and my recovery is mostly complete. So I'll play the keys while you play the guitar. Take it easy. Hoping to become a patron. So thank you for that, Rebecca. And great to hear that you're almost fully recovered. And yeah, I mean, that's something that, I'm very much looking forward to, but I can play the guitar. So yeah, not too bad. But maybe I'll see you over on Patreon. But like I always say, you don't have to donate. You don't have to become a patron. Just tuning in on YouTube is fantastic. Maybe leaving a like and a comment would be good. But yeah, just watching is great. And tuning into these live streams. Carla has donated £2.75. Thank you for that. And we are going to be calling things to a close soon because it's almost 1:30 in the morning here. So getting very late in the UK. Joan has donated £100. Thank you so much for that, Joan. A very kind donation, as are all of the donations throughout the live streams. Thank you guys so much. Joan says, appreciate all your hard work, Phil, and a shout out to our amazing moderators. Indeed, a massive shout out to the moderators for just making it such a great place to be in that live chat room, but also for dedicating their time on a Tuesday and a Saturday just relentlessly. So thank you guys so much. Your support and your time is much appreciated, and thank you, Joan, for that very kind donation. I'm just going to scroll up because Catherine has donated £19.60. Thank you for that, Catherine. And scrolling down the messages, appreciate all the time and effort you put into making videos. I learned something new about my favourite artists every time I watch one, with a smiley face. So thank you for that, Catherine, for watching the videos. But also it's great that maybe I can let people know a thing or two that they might not know about their favourite artists. And that's very much my approach with the videos, is just trying to educate as much as possible while looking at some of these great performances and artists that we have that we just see on YouTube. It's amazing. We just load up a video and watch them. Christina has donated £5 and 49 pence. Thank you for that, Christina. And the message is, hi Phil, enjoyed your talk about drumming. What types of injuries can drummers suffer from in their hands / arms as a result of drumming? So thank you for that. And I don't do a hell of a lot of drumming, so I can't really testify to this. The injury that I had was just random with my tendon, and then I started. The worst thing was that I was then exercising, so it meant that I was doing more damage to the tendon, making it worse. And I did that for probably about a couple of months, and yeah, that's why it's taken me so long to get over. And the tendinosis, as it's called. So it's medial epicondylitis. That's what I have. But yes. So for drumming, I mean, it's pretty much going to be the same. I mean, drumming is a physical activity. It's a lot more physical than you're going to have just playing the guitar. You're moving your whole body, and if you're practicing for a long time every day, you're going to need to obviously work at your fitness in order to be able to do that. But it's pretty much going to be the same case as anything. Like, even if you do a sport where you're doing repetitive movements over and over and over again, you'll get potentially, if you're not drumming in the correct way, if you're not doing the sport in the correct way with good technique, then you're going to get repetitive strain injury, RSI, and that's something that, yeah, you might then have nerve problems. You have to take a little bit of time off. So I would say that that is something that applies not only to playing the drums. The thing is about playing the drums, you might start to have issues all over the place, because you might have a problem with your ankle, knee, hips, elbows, wrists, back. Again, when you're drumming, if you haven't got good posture while you're drumming, then you might have back issues, and you might have back issues because of just the physical activity that you're doing. So yeah, there are a lot of injuries. So yeah, you've got to be wary of how you are playing the drums, that you aren't crouching over, bending your back over, how it's exactly the same for playing guitar, that you might be leaning over your guitar and doing your back a little bit of damage. So all of these things. But yeah, just any repetitive motions that you're doing for multiple hours a day, then yeah, you have to be careful. Make sure that you're being as body conscious as you can be, and that you're not doing something in a really weird way where you start to feel it in a particular joint. You just want to make sure your technique's good. But I would always say that breaking up your practice and doing it in smaller segments, maybe half an hour at a time, having a bit of time off, half an hour again, bit more time off. That's how I would suggest that people practice, especially on drums, because it's more physically demanding. But for guitar as well, any kind of repetitive movements, you want to give yourself enough time to recover. But anyway, thank you for that, Christina. And just scrolling up, because Karen has donated £23 and 52 pence. Thank you for that, Karen. And we are now up to date. I can see Vince is about to go through, saying, hi Phil, pics tonight. I know I'm biased, so yeah, we will look at the pictures and then we will be calling things to a close. And I'm just looking into that super chat window, because Brad donated $5. Thank you for that, Brad. The message was, cheers from America, Phil. Love how digestible and informative your breakdowns are. So thank you for that, Brad. Wayne donated $5 as well. Thank you for that, Wayne. Straight up donation, as was Arlene's, who donated $5. Thank you for that, Arlene. And then Vince's donation came in, so we're now up to date. Let's get these pictures up on screen. I think it's just going to be a couple, I believe, and we'll see in a second why. Vince is a little bit biased tonight, because here we have Vince and we have Kevin. And Kevin kept us up to date with pretty much his world tour that he went on, because he was in the UK, he was in London, and then maybe Manchester, I can't remember, but then he was in Germany. He was going all over the place, and now it looks like he has bumped into Vince on his travels. So here is Vince and a couple of wingers meeting up in real life, Vince and Kevin. So thank you for sending this one in and modelling the Wings of Pegasus merch as well. And guys, if you want to get involved and upload any pictures of yourself doing some modelling of the Wings of Pegasus merch, just upload them to the Wings of Pegasus supporters group over on Facebook if you are a Facebook user. And then, yeah, Vince will link me to them. I will get them and then we'll show them on the live streams. So thank you for that one. And we have one that's come in from Karen. And this is Karen showing off her Wings of Pegasus signed pick from being a pick roulette winner. So congratulations to Karen. And there's a picture of some guy holding a guitar as well. So just a couple of pictures for tonight, but we are going to be calling things to a close. It's been a crazy live stream. A lot of donations. Thank you guys for those. Really, interesting questions as well. We've been led down lots of different avenues. We've gone over by quite a long way with the live stream timing wise, but we did hit the target as well. So it means we're having a pick roulette next week. Thank you guys for joining me. I'm going to be doing another video tomorrow night. By the way, here in the UK, everybody's going to be watching the women's football tomorrow afternoon because England are in the final of the Women's Euro 2022 competition. And I'm definitely going to make a little bit of space for that tomorrow. So fingers crossed for the ladies. Hopefully they get on well and we can actually win. That would be amazing. But I will be doing a video tomorrow night and tomorrow. So I'll make a little window for the football. But yeah, look out for an analysis video. Tomorrow night we'll be live streaming again on Tuesday. There'll be another video, as always, on Wednesday night. We always have a video on Friday night as well. We just follow the same schedule, keep on pushing forward. And yes, 267,000 subscribers so far. So yeah, a great total. And thank you guys for subscribing, liking all of the comments, hitting that notification bell as well, which I suggest you do to not miss a video or a live stream. Big shout out to the moderators, as always, and I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of the weekend. Thank you, Orlando, for that last donation going through, $5, saying bye everyone, see you all at the next one. So thank you for that. But yes, have a great rest of the weekend. Try to stay as safe and sane as possible in this crazy world, and I'll catch you guys at the next one. Rock.